Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start this analysis with a very positive feedback. Yesterday, I made an analysis here, I think the day before, on how some IBC clerks had not been paid, and of course, we tried to run some tweets on that and tagging the commission. I can report that, of course, the payment started yesterday. Mchana. Yes, they started, some had started receiving their cash. That's positive. So sometimes some of these things we do, it's a very good feedback that, of course, our voice was heard. And also, I understand that the people who worked, some policemen who worked on elections, are supposed to be paid 2K per day. I have also confirmed that maybe there was a mishap, but of course that will also be sorted. Now, Charleen Ruto, the daughter of William Samoei Ruto, is holding a very powerful docket, invisible docket, in William Ruto's government. And in this analysis, I want us to look at that because the Kenyans have been reacting on Twitter, demanding all the same. And of course, I think it will be maybe unfair to judge them on the ground of being a daughter to the president. But let's just follow to the letter and understand what exactly it is. I checked Twitter, and she shared a tweet saying this yesterday. That was yesterday. Today's highlight was meeting Isiolo County Deputy Governor Dr. James Lowassa and his team members at the Isiolo County government offices. We engaged in key discussions on climate change and its impact on environmental progression. He had been there, and of course, for some time. He was actually also selling, which is a very good thing, selling the county of Isiolo. Have you visited Isiolo County game reserves before? The Shaba, Buffalo Springs, and Bisanadi National Reserves enrich Isiolo's rich culture, diversity, and ecotourism activities in the spirit of Tembea Kenya. Let us explore our countries and open up endless possibilities. And from these tweets, Kenyans have asked very simple question. From what point of view, and who is she representing? What is the organization, or what is the project? The Kenyans have been asking that question. And if you can see the photos that were shared, of course, she was in a very jovial mood meeting the deputy governor. Yes, I want us to look at this. It's not new, this is not new. Because she's in the table of power, it's easy for her to mobilize resources in such a noble cause. Being youthful again is an added advantage because most probably you will find it easy to work with the young people. William Samoei Ruto, the father, has been vocal calling on Kenyans to plant trees. And I've seen the challenge is planting 100 trees. If all of us plant 100 trees, then we can plant 5 billion. Is it possible to plant 5 billion trees? Anyway, maybe Nikki question here will be a sadist. What is Charleen Ruto's role on the environmental conservation front? What do we know so far? Immediately Ruto was sworn in, he made a trip. One was to attend the Queen's burial in UK, then to United Nations General Assembly in USA. It was a high-profile delegation that was involving even plenary sessions on matters environment. And actually, Kenya was specific on Kenya really positioned themselves well in terms of climate and environmental conservation progression. So it all started from there. And then when he came back, we knew that he started this project of encouraging Kenyans to plant trees. So when Charleen Ruto went to Isiolo, I have seen people have been asking that, is the planting trees or the environmental progression an intervention to avert the drought that have really struck some of these regions? Or should the priority be on the relief food and all that? There have been that school of thought. I want to appreciate the fact that Charleen Ruto is someone that is sitting in a table of influence, and she can impact the society. William Ruto cannot reach everyone, even though he wants to reach out to the hustlers. A conversation of whether that job would have been given to a hustler is also being floated. However, this is the caution. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta found himself in very awkward situations when close family members were dragged in the KEMSA scandal for having done business with government. And I believe that's why even when Uhuru Kenyatta gave orders that the people behind, the companies behind the KEMSA scandal be exposed within 3 weeks, I think that was 21 days, by then, that never happened because the people that were mostly involved in it, most of them, according to media reports, were actually from the first family. So, to some extent, there was corruption captured Uhuru Kenyatta's government in the second term, especially on that issue of the KEMSA scandal. So, it will be a very key aspect that the president family and William Ruto must really take keen interest on. I don't know whether you subscribe to the thought that if it is ambassadorial, environmental conservation ambassador or something, it would have gone to someone else and not someone from the first family. You can think of that. Now, this is coming at a time when Kawira Mwangaza, the Meru governor, is finding it difficult to work with the MCS and also is facing criticism for integrating the husband into county government management affairs. It has gone to an extent of even, some nephew, some relative also was appointed as the bodyguard and the PA. Of course, on the bodyguard, there is exemption. There is no problem appointing your close trusted person as your bodyguard because, again, you ni mtu anakulinda. So this have been here. Someone once said, is it morally right to give such positions to an already privileged person compared to going to give it to someone who do not have anything? Let's get a good example, something good from Rigathi Gachagua. You know, when Rigathi Gachagua gave that lady, Chelimo, that lady who crafted the name Rigiji, I found, of course, his family contacted the lady and they later announced that they have given her a job. Would it be morally right for the president, for example, in one of these tours he normally makes, find some one talented girl or someone who has done very good poem on environmental conservation and all that, then you take an ambassador, you give someone who from the population, ambassador of tree planting and environmental conservation, or even an artist or someone of influence, so that if it's a job opportunity, it should go to someone. Instead of taking someone from the first family who has all the privileges. I don't know where you stand. What will be your stand on that? I want to leave that very open. Because President William Ruto have decided to sort out the family. There is nothing wrong with that. Uhuru Kenyatta's daughter was running foundation. I think some projects, very touching projects. Former first family, Margaret Kenyatta, was doing Beyond Zero. I'm yet to find out what is the strongest, what is the pet project for our current First Lady. But William Ruto is really seeing something, an opportunity. And I think he's bringing the daughter because he has realized that he is injecting the daughter and integrating the daughter in some of these government projects simply to create a rapport with the youth, the hustlers. That rapport is needed for one thing. He wants to maintain a relationship and a contact with the young people. At the campaign trail, you could see there was a lot of political strategy to woo the youth and to set a rapport with the youth. And William Ruto was two steps ahead of all with the hustler slogan and all that. Raila Odinga had to introduce Winnie Odinga in the campaigns, and Winnie ran the Raila campaign volunteers front that was really mostly many people, young people, were the ones that were working under that Winnie Odinga. So, and if you could follow Winnie Odinga's speeches at different events when Raila was campaigning, she was actually representing the voice of the people. So, what the president is doing is very simple. Number one, Charleen Ruto is influential. She's a person who is a person of interest. But the virtue of her being someone from the first family already gives her some very big leverage compared to any other person. So what her being injected into some of these projects, because it is not just a matter of her coming and say, Dad, I want to do this and this. No, her being injected is very strategic. They want to set a rapport with the youth. I am saying this because the president must find a best way to engage the youth. Simply because these issues of standard of living, already we have now started leveraging one excuse after the other. But Rigathi Gachagua said 3 weeks, I don't know, 3 months. Ruto recently, I think yesterday, was asking for 1 year. So the youth are almost, the relationship is almost becoming a little bit strained. But I see the president might have realized, because he's the person that has all this information about what's happening in this country. And from his international networks and clout, he has known that there could be a lot of donor funding and money coming in for the climate change and environmental projects. People from the NGO world should challenge us by the way. What is the trend? The fundraisers, the donors, who do you think, which projects do you think are priority projects for our donors in this country? Is it MCH? Is it environment? Is it something on health or environment? The biggest ones are normally the environment and health. But because of our COVID experience, the health, maybe people can, the pipeline, the flow can go down because of what has happened in the health sector. People are giving money, but there are strikes all over, and donors feel like we are sending money to supplement, the government is not doing enough. So it's most likely, if you ask me, that the president might have realized that there is a lot of money that will come through for the climate and environmental change, and of course injecting the daughter there will be a good deal. But then it's not wrong, and I find it also in order if Charleen Ruto is being brought up to establish the networks. So when she establishes her networks, she can run her own mind. She can run her own projects without really working through the shadow of the father. This is important. It's always important to keep them busy, keep the children busy. June Ruto was ambassador. I don't know that she's heading back to Scotland. Nick Ruto, no one still knows. But when you engage them busy, you will avoid power excesses. Power excesses where someone was found in some uncompromising position, or someone's just idle tweeting and doing things that are really not adding value. It's a bit of the value addition to them, and just to keep them busy. I don't know whether you guys feel it's in order, morally right, to give her a job or on that front, while other hustlers are looking for jobs. And even if that job is to be given to hustlers, how many hustlers? That's my bold.